Okay, so this was going to be a fairly different video because, well, first of all, it's early Monday afternoon. It's time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. Typically, this is where I would open a Jubile Ale, but I've already drunk the Jubile Ale because I got another video earlier. And that video was me playing a game, specifically a game called Alchemy Factory. And I did not like it. And I think it's really shitty to take a game that fundamentally is not to my taste and spend a couple hours playing it on video and just talk about how much I dislike it for the whole time. But that was the experience that I had. Well, it was just over an hour, actually. And it was just over an hour, and then I went to Steam and I said, no, I don't like this. I want a refund on this game. And it is one thing to spend an hour playing Starfield, which I love, and doing a mission, which I enjoyed, and just generally be boring as fuck to watch because I'm not a Let's Play streamer and never have been. But it is quite another thing to showcase a game you dislike. You should take games for what they are, and I think that's a very important thing to remember as a gamer and as a game developer. Your game is not going to be everybody's thing. Okay, there's no way to make a game that everybody loves, and there's no way for every game to be the kind of game that you enjoy. But the game is what the game is, you know? And if the game is something that you're not enjoying, you should stop playing it, and you should ask for a refund. And Steam's great about that. And the refund's already pending. But it doesn't actually benefit anybody or make any difference if you just spend a bunch of time pointing at a game and shitting on it. It doesn't improve anything for anyone, especially when the problem with the game isn't that it's bad, it's that I don't like it. And a lot of my dislike of it is the interface it's not as streamlined as I would like. They don't really have anything remotely resembling controller input. I expected this to be a kind of cozy factory building game where I would go, all right, yeah, this is fun and cool, and I could play a little bit here and a little bit there, and that'll be that. That is not what I got. What I got was something that I would say is more technical and more complicated. It demands a little bit more attention and effort, and it doesn't look like I expected it was going to look or work like I expected it was going to work. So it's an expectations thing. It's not the kind of game I wanted. It's not a bad game. Somebody else wants this game. The game did feel like oddly unfinished in a lot of ways, but it's an early access game. It's going to feel like that. The game isn't bad. It's just not what I wanted it to be. And this is the same experience I think a lot of people had with Starfield, where they went into Starfield and, well, you had your people that immediately went, how come my boss is a woman? My boss shouldn't be a woman. The guy should be my boss, not the chick. Okay, we can just kick those snowflakes off to the curb, like, immediately. I don't fucking care what they think about anything. But there are a lot of people that got into Starfield and they said, hey, these NPCs don't have schedules. That's true. They don't. If you go to Jemison Mercantile, there's a Molly behind the counter. And doesn't matter what time it is or what day it is or what's going on. You can go there in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day. You can park yourself outside the store for hours of real time and just stand there and watch as she goes nowhere and does nothing. And she doesn't eat or sleep or go to the bathroom. She never leaves her post. She doesn't do shit. Ever. Now, a lot of people have looked at that and they've said these lazy, ignorant developers, they forgot how to give NPCs schedules. Oh, you mean like they've done in literally every game they've built for the last 20-odd years? Somehow I doubt they forgot. I don't think they forgot anything. I think this is intentional. Does it mean something or is it just fucking weird? I don't know, but I think they did this on purpose. I don't know why they did this on purpose, but I do think they did it on purpose. And because I think they did it on purpose, I'm not looking at it going, this ruins my immersion. Oh, I can't play this game. I don't feel immersed in the setting because it doesn't make sense. It's deliberate. It's supposed to not make sense. You should be looking at that and going, what the fuck? Why does this person never leave their post? What is going on here? I don't know what's going on here. But I kind of lean in the direction of a sort of Matrix resolution where this is a simulation and they're not real people, or we're breaking reality or something like that. I think something's fucked up. I think we're supposed to be uncovering evidence that something is fucked up throughout the game. Because the game is what the game is. Just like when I go play Dwarf Fortress. I don't care. I just really don't care. I'm not engaged or involved with any of these storylines. It's just fucking weird. I don't get it. It's a game I don't enjoy. I don't think that the people who made Dwarf Fortress failed to make a game that I like. I think they succeeded in making a game that was for somebody else. And that's kind of how I feel about Alchemy Factory. That's a game for somebody else. It's not a game for me. Starfield is a game for me. It's not a game for a lot of other people. There's a lot of somebody else's out there that this is not a game for. But it's absolutely a game for me, and I think that's an important thing to take away as a gamer and as a developer, is the idea that when you make a game, the game is for somebody. It's not for everybody. It's for somebody. And if you're not that somebody, that's okay. It's okay for you not to be the person this game is for. You don't have to play the game. You don't have to buy the game. You're not required to enjoy any game that you play any more than the developer is required to make a game that you enjoy. You're independent people. You've got separate things that you're doing, and they're different. So, I don't know. I think that's the major takeaway from this. You're not going to like everything that people make, and you're not going to make things that everybody likes. That's natural and that's normal and that's, just the way things are. And I don't think I have anything really profound to say about that. But yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why a lot of people are mad at Starfield. I feel like Cyberpunk is a good example of a game that was built for somebody else and they did a bad job. I really wanted them to do a good job. And I really wanted that game to be for me, but that game was for somebody else. Specifically, it was for somebody who was okay with a game that sucks. And that was not me. So, the big issue for me with Cyberpunk is you can have an intelligence of 1 and you can go buy all of the cyberware and bullshit to make you this unstoppable hacker. That's supposed to be the trade-off. Like when you don't put any points into intelligence and you put them all into body and agility so you can be like a street samurai, so you can be a proper solo, you're supposed to give up your option of being a fantastic cyberdecker. It's not supposed to work like this. And I feel like they broke everything when they did that. But that's a game that appeals to certain kinds of people, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that those people are out there and they like this kind of game and they're enjoying playing their bullshit game that's fucked up. I'm sorry, I spent 40 years waiting for Cyberpunk to be a video game. And I did get what I wanted from Cyberpunk in the sense that I wanted to walk through Night City and feel like it was a real place and I was listening to real people and I was hearing lots of different languages and lots of different conversations and just lots of stuff going on all over the place. And I did get that feeling from it, and it was a good experience to be walking through Night City. But the game was... I cannot adequately express my disappointment in what happened with Cyberpunk. And in the same way, when Starfield came out, it was not what I wanted it to be. It was not the thing that I wanted it to be, and it took some adjustment. It took some time for me to go, okay, let's back up. Let's back up and consider what this thing is rather than what I want it to be. So I backed up and I considered it for what it was, and taking it for what it was, I love it and I think it's fantastic, but it's not what I expected it to be, and I agree with a lot of people. I expected it to have the Elite Dangerous thing where you stare at the arse end of your ship for 20 minutes to get anywhere. I kind of like that it's not. I don't really mind that it's a cutscene. I don't know why people are upset about that. It's like, instead of watching a 10-second cutscene of flying from this planet to that planet, they would rather sit around staring at their ship and then eventually have the system load the planet they're supposed to be at. Eventually, when they get there. But that whole trip is bullshit. That whole trip is just the game going, no, sit here for 20 minutes. Sit here for 20 minutes and do absolutely jack fucking shit. But that's kind of what I expected from Starfield. And when it wasn't what I got with Starfield, I was confused, but not upset. And I adjusted and I was fine with it. And I think too many people just like lose their shit and throw the whole thing away and go, no, I'm not going to adjust to it. Could I adjust to Alchemy Factory? Probably. But that's not what I want out of Alchemy Factory. So, refund. Bad game. Just not my game. Not a game for me. Not the thing that I want it to be. I will probably pick something else off my wish list. Quite likely, looking at what's there. I don't know. Get over the stuff that's here. I'm not sure anything really excites me off of this. Doesn't matter. I'll find something. I'll be okay. And regardless, you need to be pragmatic about your games. You need to be sensible about the question of, is this a bad game or is this just not the game that I want? Because usually it's just not the game that you want, and that doesn't make it bad. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. So, okay, bye.